feels so good to be back. What's up, everybody? Welcome to it. I think we're on episode number 5 because we left you hanging at episode number 4. Call it a cliffhanger. Call it whatever you want to call it. It's DJ Sabby, the best than ever. It's behind the mic, hanging out with some of my favorite radio DJs. And today, I'm hanging out with a woman. Now, I met her in 2008. Went to go visit the SABC studios. I was still a young in Johannesburg. I was studying out at Namisa. Skinny as fudge. She had just won MTV as the first female VJ to join the channel. Super excited, but I had to play it cool. I'm going to try and pull up that picture for you so the one and only Cheesy can put it on your screen. Ladies and gentlemen, Figile Moeti.
Air horn.
How you doing?
I'm fantastic. Cheers. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
You have taken me out of my nightly routine. Thank you for the drink.
So, what do you normally do around these times of the day?
At this moment right now, if I was not here,
Yeah.
I would be putting Baba to sleep because I have already bathed him.
Yeah.
And I follow routine like a Nazi baby.
Yeah.
So I'll be reading The Snail and the Whale.
Is that
right
the name
now.
of the book?
That's the name of the book.
Yeah.
And it's all about a little snail who saves the big ass whale.
Yeah.
And
But how does that even happen? how does a snail save a whale?
but this is what I love about fairy tales. It's all about how this one snail decides he wants to travel, and the whale says, "Come travel with me," and then the snail gets stuck on the beach because he gets beached, and then everyone comes and helps the whale because the snail was able to get to the village and tell everyone, "Please help the whale," and they were able to get back to where they came from, and everyone told the story of how the snail saved the whale. I can't believe I just told you the snail and the whale story right now.
So there's this book I always read to my son with my girl, Brown Eyes.
Yeah.
It's about the tiger and it roaring.
Yeah.
That one is a little bit easy because every time you see the word tiger, you gotta roar and you gotta press something. So the snail and the whale, I would probably be like, son, listen. What they trying to say is I don't know.
It's basically a David and Goliath situation. It's basically saying it doesn't matter how small you are, you can move mountains, basically.
Being a parent, you gotta lie early.
You
gotta start lying very early.
Look, I'm a dreamer. I'm a believer.
Yeah.
I don't lie. It's one thing that I'm not a liar.
I was about to say, you guys actually have a feature called Liar.
I know we do have a feature called Liar. We have, and I'm the best at that feature. Yeah. I must say, but I don't lie. I don't think we should lie to our kids. I really don't. I know what you're saying, but I don't. I'm just like, this is what it is. This is the truth, and I'm just gonna be one of those mothers. Yeah. But I freaking love being a mom. I didn't know if I could swear or not, but if I could swear, I love it so much.
Is it everything you thought it would be?
Everything.
For real?
Everything. I mean, look, it's hard.
Yeah.
Hard AF, but I don't think anything as amazing as what that feeling is ever easy. Yeah. The rewards that you get from it. You understand it when someone says that to you. Like, now I understand it.
Now it makes sense.
But I'm one of those people who understand what after hard work, the amazingness that comes from hard work. From every tragedy comes something really profound that you end up learning from. I love learning.
You've grown up. Huh? You've done this growing up thing pretty well.
Bro, when you were talking about MTV VJ search, and
you guys were actually interviewing VJ? Prime Circle that day.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. And who would have ever thought that I would do TV for 5 years and then all of a sudden do radio for 10 years?
Yeah.
It's actually going on 11 years now.
Wow.
Dude.
It's a long time.
Dude.
I'm sure you've already put the face to the voice. She normally hangs out with you on the radio during lunchtime with Forbes, who actually had it episode number 4. It just made sense to kind of finish the story.
Yeah, absolutely.
Having been with Forbes for so long, let's talk about this radio thing. When did it hit you that I want to explore this and try it out and do it?
I think it was the time when I was still at MTV. We tried out this thing called TRL Radio.
I remember.
Do you remember this?
Now that was a big feature overseas in America.
Yes, so
Yeah.
TRL was this feature that Carlton Daily did. And it was basically like the top TV show in the States. It was in this top building, and they were like on the top floor in Times Square.
Yeah.
And he interviewed the best and the most amazing and the trendiest and people all around. So we tried to recreate that as MTV, but then we thought, let's add a twist to it. Let's include radio, because at the time, the 5FM Top 40, no one could touch it.
Yeah.
Nobody could touch it.
Yeah.
And I think, who was on that? It was Nicole Fox.
Whoa.
Now, blast from the past. Nicole Fox was doing the 5FM Top 40 at that time when I was with MTV. And that's when we're trying to do this TV meets radio thing.
Yeah.
So yeah, we're trying to do TRL radio is what we called it. And it was basically what we're doing now.
Yeah.
We were doing a radio show, but we had the visuals added to it, and MTV was covering that. There was a lot of pretend that also had to happen. So it was just like, oh, we didn't get that. Can you just do that again? And I remember Nicole kind of going, oh.
Because you're not used to it in radio.
It's that TV versus radio thing. A lot of radio jocks would just be like, oh, I do have to do it again. It was awesome the first time. It was natural the first time. Why are we repeating this? So I remember doing TRL radio with Nicole, and you know, TV, everything's like, oh, we can do that one better. Let's do it again. Let's do it again.
Yeah.
Let's do it again.
Yeah.
No. Yeah. So, that's where we started. And then I got a call from the programming manager at the time, who was...
Oh, that was like so many program managers would come and
Guy. I think it was Helen at the time.
Ooh,
Helen,
famous.
No,
Helen.
Helen. She was our station manager at the time. And I can't even remember who was our program manager. I think it was like acting people. But she was like, hey, have you ever thought about doing radio? And I was just like, you know, I've never thought about it per se since I've got this gig. And let's just step back a little bit. When I was at UCT studying film and media, I saw that UCT had a radio station. Yeah. And I thought, let me just go try it out. Like, let me take a stab at it. They made me read the news, and they were like, oh, we'll call you back. Dololo call.
They never called you?
They never called me back. Dololo call, and I was just like, oh, well, I mean, maybe radio's just not my thing. Yeah. And then I eventually saw the chick who actually did the audition with me, and I was like, hey, I didn't get the call back. And then she was like, no, you know what, actually, Fiks, why don't you come through and work in our marketing department? I remember meeting her, and then I was handing out flyers on jammy steps there at UCT. So that's where the radio career actually kind of started. Yeah. And then fast forward to doing this MTV thing, and then getting to 5FM and them kind of poking some kind of interest. Eventually, YFM approached me at the same time.
I've never heard of that. When? When was this?
While we were discovering this TRL radio thing and doing it, YFM came to me.
Let me see. This was 10 years ago. So the program manager was it Vukile?
It was Vukile. Vux came in touch with me and was just like, Fiks,
come this side.
Come to YFM. I remember we were there at Rosebank Bar, just like chatting, and he was just like, I really think that you'll feel comfortable here. Let's just try it out. And I was like, cool, let's do it. But you know, sometimes with radio, the radio world, sometimes you have a meeting and then you won't hear in the next 2 weeks. And then all of a sudden you'd be like, so what's the game plan? You were like, he was like, yeah, still working on it. 5FM just went, oops, and took me like that.
When Vukile called you, right?
Yeah.
At the time, what was he offering you? Like, a weekend gig, a daytime gig? What was the story?
I don't even think we got that far. He said to me, what do you want to do? And I was just like, oh, I've never really, you know, like I'm used to doing a chart show on TV. So, and I love music. I mean, I was one of those kids who was fortunate to grow up on MTV UK. Yeah. Like we had that at home. So, I used to idolize these MTV presenters and be like, this is my ish. This is the vibe. And Pop TV, bruh. Like the music videos, R. Kelly, My Minds, Tell Me No. Those were my jams.
I feel old because I remember all of these things. I swear, I'm like, I know Bob TV. I remember Nicole Fox. So I'm not old. I'm a 1990 baby.
You're not a naughty baby, and it's totally right. But that was when, that kind of was when Vukile was like, come through, come round, let's try it out. Yeah. And I was just like, okay, maybe I'm happy. Maybe let me try a chart show. We'll start there. So I didn't even know what I was getting into. I didn't know how radio kind of worked. Yeah. We didn't listen. I mean, you got to understand, I actually grew up in Botswana and I grew up in the Eastern Cape.
Okay.
So in Bots, my mom was there listening to Simply Red, sometimes The Cause. My family's a little bit.
Yeah. But that exposed you to different types of
You may need to Google, guys. Yeah. But, you know, it exposed me to so much. UB40, you all can at least recognize that. But like those are the... Red Wine, exactly. Those, that's the music that I kind of grew up on CDs consistently. And then... moving to the Eastern Cape and being in boarding school, and then finally when I reached grade 12, there was like we could get a radio, and I was a deputy of the house.
Look at you.
I couldn't be the head because I was a little bit of a rebel. Yeah. So they were like, we're just gonna put you a deputy. So
you still have power.
You still have power, but not too much, because we know you still sneak out. So I had those. I had a radio, and I remember listening to Nicole Fox and Leanne Moll on in the evenings. Yeah, it was a 7 to 10 show, and they always used to do this one feature, Hottie of the Day. Hottie of the Day. And I'm like, oh, who are they talking about? And it's so funny because they would explain the person. You couldn't go into social media, check out what this person looked like. They would explain this person, and you'd be like, okay, he must be super, super hot. Yeah. Meanwhile, we don't know, Baba. We don't know what they're talking about. But the way they explained, and I was just like, these girls. And it was the only time I could listen to radio, by the way. Like, I just finished my prep, listened to Nicole and Leanne babbling on about hotties on 5FM. I was like, yeah, this is my vibe. So this is where my love for radio, actually, love for listening to radio started. Otherwise, before, it always was CDs. Otherwise, it was MTV. And that's where the love for music came from. So it was just, it's also ironic in a sense how after all of that, I ended up at 5FM. It felt like the right fit. It made sense. And I guess it still makes sense right now, doesn't it?
It does. Look, the joys of hanging out with radio DJs is that I'll ask you one question and you answer everything. So I'm just like listening as a radio show. I'm like, I'm loving this. It makes my job a little bit easier.
Right, no, with radio DJs, and I don't know if it's radio DJs or it's just me, I will tangent you so hard. It is so hard to come back. I'll be like, what was I talking about? So I tangent hard. Yeah. This is why when I do radio shows, I literally write where I'm coming in and where I'm leaving, because I need to be able to know where I'm entering the rondavel. I go around the rondavel and when I'm leaving the rondavel. Yeah. That's cool. Yeah, that's the basics of radio. Yeah. And you don't have to ask anything. I'm just gonna keep talking, right?
I'm literally just sitting here. Should I have a slice of pizza? Should I have a slice of pizza?
Go for it.
You were saying? Before you going around the double, what happens?
I remember I didn't one thing that I always and I learned from Forbes as well, having doing this show with him for the past 7 years, is that when I also started on radio and when Helen and them got me onto 5FM, I started with a Sunday show, and it was the best of 5. So it's just the best of the 5 old school songs we played on 5FM, the best of the 5FM charts that we played yesterday, the best of Mang Mang. It was just like a feeding off another shows, and like just the cross-pollination was happening, promoting other shows, which was also cool. And I remember doing my first show, and I had a friend from the States who worked for MTV, and was just like, I'm listening. Like someone I really looked up to.
But they were streaming online?
Yeah, they were streaming online, and they were just like, we need to check this out. Your pizza kind of hot, baby.
Yeah, no, it was. It got to me, so yeah, pardon. I'm not crying because this guy was streaming from overseas, okay? 10 years ago. Data was non-existent.
Straight up. And I did my first show, and then he was like, and I was totally TV. I was like, welcome to the best of 5. My name is Fiks. Johnny Bravo. Like I was on that level, and he was just like, you need to calm down.
Relax.
You need to calm down, and you just need to talk. Just talk, and just like come on. And it took me so long to unlearn that because I didn't come from
the radio background.
I came from a TV background of being told this is how you do TV. And this is the only way you do TV. Like Trevor, what's his name?
Noah?
No.
Gumby?
No. The one from the UK who was at MTV.
Trevor Nelson.
Nelson.
Yeah.
Hey, I was going to say Manuel, and then I was like, it doesn't
Trevor on radio.
I was like, Manuel doesn't sound right. Trevor Nelson. And they would be like, this is kind of the style we go for. And it was always so difficult because they always use this person as the ultimate and how you do it. And Trevor came from a radio background.
Yeah, he did
exactly.
Noah's Ark and why.
That how about that? So so finding myself within all of that was a very difficult part for me. And I've always tried to stay as true as possible to myself. It's the one thing that I believe is my uniqueness. I believe is the value that I can offer, and I believe it's the legacy I can leave. So I try not to. So being 19 years old, also by the way, you're a lighty. You were told, do this, be this. This is how you do it. And I'm the first one in my family to be in this industry.
Also, you're the first one, period.
The first for a new channel. So the only things you had to kind of start comparing yourself to is what are the female VJs overseas doing? But it's a completely different context. So they saw something, they felt something, and they were like, maybe this is what we should be. This is who we're looking for, and this is the vibe that we're looking for. And then they were like, no, but you need to tweak here, you need to tweak there. And then it's that it girl thing that you need to kind of like become. And that's just not who I am. And I always pat myself on the back to kind of say, I'm so glad that I didn't go down a direction that I didn't want to go. I tried it. I cried over it. Hell, I was just like, I think I need to see a psychologist about this because I'm just like, I feel like in order to succeed, I need to become that. And if I don't become that, then you'll never succeed.
You talking about the it girl, you were popping at a time when Nontle Tema was
boom.
Nontle Tema.
Boom, boom.
Where there was no social media, there was none of that. So what exactly made you cry? What pushed you to tears every single night?
It was just this conforming to being a Nontle Tema, I guess it was, because she was actually the only it girl we had at that moment, and it's the only comparison we had that was working in South Africa. So we had to follow. I guess our producers were also following that mandate, but at the same time, MTV was this brand new kind of platform. And MTV Africa was this brand new platform, but it was still international. So we still had, I want to say, a one-up from Channel O, so it's just kind of, we've got this, we're better. It's kind of the culture that I kind of got to feel and see when I got there. And I think what really was the hardest part for me was really trying to become something that I wasn't.
Yeah.
It didn't feel right. And I was just like, well, it's not feeling right. You're telling me to be this person, but I'm not this person. I can't be, I need to be me. You need to accept me for me and let me be me. Yeah. And I'll be able to kill it. You're telling me to be something. I can't act. I'm not an actress. If you want an actress, get an actress. If you put me in that position, I'm not going to do my best. I'm really not going to. And that's what you learn as you're young, because 19, 20, 21, you are just discovering yourself.
At what point did you feel like you now know who Fiks is? How old were you? Would you say you were late in your 20s?
I think the funniest thing is that I've always known who Fiks is. I just always had to fight.
Yeah.
I just consistently had to fight for Fiks all the time. So I think I've been a very independent person from an early age. I mean, my mom will tell you about how still in a wet nappy, I would go to the neighbor's house to go and like hang out the next morning. And they'll be like, you? kind of thing.
Yeah.
Sorry, I just lost my mic.
No problem, no problem. We good.
But they'll be like, "Upufikile," and I'll be like, at the next door neighbor's house, 2 years old, chilling, somehow managed to cross the road. Oh, dude, we're in Botswana, it's very rural, like, you're not going to get killed. Everybody knew each other, and they were just like, there's a child from next door, it's all right, kind of thing. Yeah, you were all good. As I said, I think I was just always fighting for the little Fiksy inside. Always, always, always. And not many people are that strong. I'm going to say it straight up. Not many people are that strong. It's a hard battle. It's such a hard battle, but eventually you come out the other side and you are so proud of the work that you've done over the years. I mean, I'm looking at my life now, and like when you said to me, like, when do you feel like you could overcome that? I even sometimes go, gosh, I feel like I overcame that yesterday, or I feel like I can, and I'm like, fuck that, sorry.
No, you can't.
Yeah, okay. I've been overcoming this since I was this high because I didn't conform. I didn't conform, and that's just what I believe in, and and this is what I try and do for my own child. I really believe in harnessing uniqueness. Every student, every radio DJ, every personality, you need to have a teacher, a parent, or someone that can harness the amazingness that you have inside, because the difference that child has, the difference that kid has, the difference that radio DJ has is what's going to make them amazing. That's it. Harness it, celebrate it, put it on a pedestal, and you will see genius. I promise you that. So I'm a true believer of that. And it's, as I said, it just takes years and years and years to fight for self, but eventually you come out the other side and you pat yourself on your back and you go, thank God I did that.
Now, the point in time when there was a time I remember you left South Africa to go study, and you had found I think you found your feet when it comes to 5. Like, you were a voice that people fully knew. Yeah. And your face was something that we knew because of MTV. Yeah. The transition of taking time out of TV, focusing on radio, having to perfect these links, because now there's no cameras, there's none of this. It's just this thing here and having to get it across. How would you say you were able to find, I won't say your radio identity, because now you knew who you were, but how did you find... It's
confidence.
Yeah. It's a way to differentiate the platforms.
For me, my radio thing has always been confidence. It's always been a confidence thing. I think, and I want to speak particularly from a female perspective. And if you know me, like, I am pro-female in the business world just generally, because I went to a girls' school, and in our girls' schools we're told to, like, color in the lines, don't jump in the deep end, don't take too many risks. Otherwise, if you take the risk, like, gosh, you don't know what's going to happen. You need to keep perfect, tidy, neat all the time. And that's the worst thing that you can ever do to anyone.
That's true. Dirty yourself up.
But they teach the opposite thing for boys. They're just like, are you going to jump in the deep end? Come on, we're all going to jump in the deep end. Okay, let's see what happens. Oh, he's drowning. Okay, someone save him. Oh, you're so cool. Like, those, you're celebrated for taking a risk. They say that a majority of men who apply to a gig that they don't qualify for possibly get the gig because of confidence. Women don't even apply because they're just like, well, I don't have the qualification, so I'm not even going to bother. Meanwhile, they could have been the best person for the job. So I look, with your question, I look at situations like that, and I think the confidence and self-esteem of many women that are going into different careers, particularly also in radio, is a problem. It's truly a confidence thing, and I speak from experience, because I remember when I started and I had to unlearn all the mistakes and stuff that I made. And the truth is, the radio industry is a boys' club. It's always been a boys' club. Most industries are boys' clubs, and there are amazing women like Anele Mdoda who have fought against that and said, nah, bruh, I'm good at what I do. I'm jumping on this, like, whatever. So it can happen, but she has amazing confidence and was able to bring that alight. Tando Tebete, I've got so much respect for that girl, because she also did the same thing. She was just like, I can do it, I'm going to try it, let's go. And they pave really this road for a lot of women to say, I have confidence, I can actually do this, and I can be as good, and I can get a drive time show, and I can kill this drive time show. So for me, I think there's a lot more support that needs to be happening that side. There's a lot more role models that need to be seen doing it so other women can come in and join. And it's the struggles that I had. It's completely the same struggle. I know it's almost like, you can do something, you can kill it, but the fear of if I mess up. And that's why I take it. And that's why I take it back to when we're kids. Girls, color in the line. Don't make a mistake. Otherwise, you're going to look stupid. Don't do this. Don't do that. It carries from this high. And it's one thing that I always say to parents. Teach your daughters to freaking take risks. Teach your daughters to be brave. Teach your daughters to color out the lines. They don't have to color in the lines, because if they can do that, imagine what they can do out in the world.
That's true. Talking about challenges, I can just only imagine, I'm just going to bring Grace into this conversation right now. I remember once upon a time when I was still in 5FM, on the radio, this woman, as she was listening, she thought I was white.
Yeah.
And she reached out and said, I went to the 5FM website and I realized that you're black. And I'm thinking of how many times that possibly happens on a platform like 5, where predominantly the station has been known to be a white station.
That's true.
You get behind this platform as a black girl. Has there ever been any challenge or an incident where listeners treated you a certain way because of race?
Must be honest, no, not at all.
Yeah.
I think also, I got to be honest, going to a Model C school in the Eastern Cape, Clarendon Girls High School, where I played water polo. I was a swimmer.
Yeah.
I loved swimming.
Shout out to you. I can't swim.
We had this as part of one of our Women's Day features that we're doing. Yeah, it's a question that we do every day, and it's everyday sexism. And the question was, what were you the first to do in your family? I know, right? Right. That's a heavy. It's such a heavy question, but wow, the answers we got. I was like, and for me, that's why I was like, oh, this is why I do radio. This is why I do radio, because the stories you hear. And mine was, I was the first to know how to swim.
Yeah.
I learned how to swim. I remember teaching my mom at 11 years old, 12 years old. Well, me at 11, 12, teaching my mom how to swim. In our back garden when they did this pool so I could practice my swimming. You know what I mean? And I kept saying, no, Mom, we can do this. And she's freaking out. But I was the first. So I've always been deemed a coconut because I swam. I played national water polo. Like that was my thing. And I went to this Model C school, this proper. Exactly. And I think also being used to that environment, and then and then I went and I lived in England for a bit. And then I went kind of to 5FM. I just didn't, there wasn't, and I used to listen to 5FM. I don't think that I've ever really noticed it. And it probably has happened.
But you were not aware of it.
But I wasn't aware of it because it's kind of what I've just known from this age. And it's a very interesting question that you ask, because I'm like really thinking about it. Is there that moment? But I think we're also entering an era where not race doesn't matter. Being black is fucking cool. Being a black female right now, fuck with you. Like I'm so happy that I'm one. And it's celebrated even more. So I think our time is now. I feel that as a station at 5, we're also seeing that change with like Tando's like the first black female that we've had on a drive time show. So hell, is she not the first female?
Yeah, she is the first female.
There we
I
go.
know at 5, there
we go. She's the first. She's the first female and first black female. I mean, that speaks volumes.
That is massive. Do you think, based on everything, would you be able to do things like maybe be on the air, like on a platform like Metro, a predominantly black station? After realizing that.
Look, the one thing that I've always been very good at, not to blow my own horn, is that, and I noticed it from school, it was kind of a talent that I had. I've got great interpersonal skills. So I could hang out with the Muslim community for break time. And then after the Muslim community, I go hang out with my Xhosa girls and hang out. And after them, I can hang out with the nerds over there and find out about the latest technology thing that they're working on. Like, I'm able to hang out with groups and just blend in and just be a part of it. So it's never a struggle for me to do that. But I think it's just got to make sense in the long run. I love you, Metro.
Long run means money.
Yeah, I love
money.
Cheers.
Oh, okay. I'm just gonna check.
It's gotta make sense. MTV made sense to me. 5FM made sense to me. It's not easy to find. It's not easy to find places that make sense. But I'm being very fortunate because I'm also a very loyal person.
Yeah.
I learned that about myself as well. Very, very loyal person. So MTV felt right. Great culture, great people, loved working there, great energy. 5FM, it's the reason why I've been there for 11 years. Great people, great vibe, great energy. Metro, I've heard too many scandals.
Tell us, you in the building? I'm sure you'll get similar emails. Huh? There are those company emails.
How about Metro? There's always something happening. No, look, I love my sister station. No, I really do. I do have love for them, but I don't know if I see myself going into a Metro. I would have enjoyed Y.
Yeah.
I think if I went from MTV to Y, I actually would have enjoyed Y. And I think I would have got a really good grounding.
Yeah.
Starting at Y.
Yeah.
I can't reverse time, but also having started at 5FM on that Sunday night show and just being able to be me and go balls to the wall with my personality and just have fun. Then after that, they gave me another show, a Friday night show, where I was starting to do like nighttime stuff, like what was it was a hip hop show that I was doing.
Was it like a nighttime fix?
It was a specialized on the Friday night fix.
Yeah,
Friday night fix. And that's when Vukile joined 5FM.
I remember.
Which was interesting as well.
Yeah.
So he was like trying to like get me onto YFM, then he joined 5FM and I was like, hey, we meet once again. And full circle. So everything just kept making sense. So he was just like, Fiks, let's do another show. What do you want to do? Did the Friday night fix, then did a Saturday night fix, then did a Tuesday night show. And I was like, this radio thing actually makes sense. I get to be me.
Yeah.
And I think that was the starting of the difference I started to see with TV and radio. I was like, I get to be me. I get to play. I get to have fun. I'm enjoying this. Actually, this is the place. And then going to the States, going back to study, and then coming back, I kind of had to unlearn all the bad habits because now I was doing a daytime show with Forbes. And Forbes comes from this like...
Tax FM.
Bruh.
You know what I mean? It's got to happen like this.
It's got to happen like this, like that. Yeah. Everything is like boom, 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 boom. And now you've got this like unicorn and you've got like Forbes who's like... But that's also yin and yang.
Yeah.
And that's why Grant Nash put us together.
Yeah.
That's why he said, this is going to make sense. Actually, it was Tim's uncle put us. It was Tim.
Jeez, there was Tim also.
It was Tim as well. So I'm not really sure who it was that actually propped us together. But I remember at the time I was thinking, okay, cool. Let's give this a bash. I was focused on my my studies and the education thing that I wanted to do. I run a scholarship program. And that's basically my love, my legacy, the things that I want to continue doing. Because I think at 24, I was 24 when I left for the States. Is when I realized, what am I doing? Let's take steps back. What am I doing? Why am I doing this? Why am I doing all of this? Doesn't make sense in the bigger picture that I want to do. And I was like, I think I need to go back and study. I think I need to go back and be a kid. I've always just been a go-getter. Like, let's make national colors. Let's do this. Let's do that. Let's go and coach swimming in England. Let's go and enter this competition.
Mm.
But I've always felt like I've always been too ahead of my time, but I didn't have the maturity for it.
Mm.
You know, like when you've always known what you want. You're like, that's it. That's what I want. But you're like, I wish I could just get there. And I've had to learn with myself that I need to take steps back and just enjoy the process of getting there. So I've been rushing since 19, and I finally got to a point at 24. I was like, I'm going to stop rushing. I'm going to let it happen.
And when you come back from the States, because you've been the main star, you've been the host, you've been doing this thing for a long time, and it's about fix.
Yeah.
Now you got to share the spotlight where you're the co-host to Forbes.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? How did you eventually find the rhythm with Forbes?
It was difficult because I also came back not knowing that I'd go back into the entertainment industry. I thought to myself, I thought, I'm doing my studies here at a business school at Gibbs. I've got my focus on this business art school that I want to open. Like I had all that in a game, like ready to go. My game plan was ready. And then Aisha Mohammed, who was our station manager at the time, got mad respect for, what an amazing woman, said to me, hey, do you want to do a show? Do you want to come back to radio? And I was like,
Because from the outside,
tempting.
It felt like you and Five had made an agreement. From the outside, that's what it looked like.
It's tempting. I was just like, tempting. I said, I'm busy on my studies at the moment. And she was just like, look, the option is there. Are you keen? Are you not keen? And I was just like, guess I could make some money on the side. I mean, I can't just be a full-time student.
Yeah.
It's something that I enjoy doing. So actually, let me do it.
Why not?
Because that's when I said to you, like, I'd reached that age at 24 when I was like, why am I doing all of this? And I'm trying to not do the scattered energy thing. I wanted focused energy. That was my game plan. And now it's like, okay, fine, I'll do it. And then I did the Saturday night show. Not, okay, I want to say, okay, fine, I do it. I was like, makes sense. Let's do it. Started to really enjoy that. And then Aisha was like, so, Fiks, on top of that, we have another show. It's Monday to Friday.
Yeah.
And it's going to be with a guy called Rob Forbes. Are you keen to try it out? And so I don't know if Rob's told you the story of how that all happened.
No. Tell us.
This is hilarious. This is hilarious. So Rob did a what you call it, an audition. Or no, I don't say audition, but like a
mock shows.
A mock show with Poppy first. And obviously, I don't know, it didn't kind of work out, because then Aisha called me and was like, can you do a mock show with Rob? And I was just like, who's Rob? First and foremost. And then they were like, no, from tax, la, la, la. So I met Rob. We did the mock show. Literally the next day, and they were like, so the show's going to go on. And we're going to continue, and this is the game plan. You're the host. I'm like, oh, okay.
Just like that?
Just like that. Like, literally, we did it on like the Tuesday, Wednesday, sold, done, finished.
Wow.
That's how Forbes and Fiks started. And it started off as Forbes' show, hey? It was the Rob Forbes show.
Yeah.
And I was just a contributor on the show. And I thought, this actually makes sense because I'm focused on my other stuff. I've got the Saturday night show that I'm doing. It's not my main focus right now. Cool beans. Then I was like, hey, I missed radio. Hi, radio. How are you doing? Let's do more.
Yeah.
Okay, this is getting better. This is getting awesome. But within all of that, I also lost a lot of confidence behind the mic, because now I was doing other things. I was focusing all my energy on other things. And then now it became this fear of, I'm not good enough. I don't think I'm good enough to be able to be on a daytime. And you got to also remember, I was always on nighttime radio. I always did 10 to 1, 10 to 1, 10 to 1 on all those shows. So now I was doing this daytime show, which was like, it's a whole new world. It's complete. It's a huge deal. It's a whole new world. And for me, Forbes was like my mentor. Like, I was like, you've been doing this for a long time. I want to learn from you. I want to see what you do. And I wanted that. I'm one of those, I'm a student of the universe.
Yeah.
I love to learn. So I'm just like, cool. And I had to also unlearn a lot of my radio. So we had Grant coaching us, which was really amazing as well. I think he's one of the top say, coaches in the radio world. Because he loves it.
I've heard great things about Grant.
What I've learned in the space of, I think we had around for 5 years, from a creative content perspective, from getting in and out of links, how you do this, how you do that, and lots of those stuff was just focused on Forbes, because obviously he was the main anchor of the show. But I sat in every single. Then you don't have like many contributors are just like, oh well, this doesn't have to do with me. I'm just gonna you go and do the snoop. Like, let me know what they say. A lot of people don't have to. You don't have to sit in those rooms and actually listen to the snoops when it's a majority of one person actually receiving all the feedback. You know what I mean? I'm not that person. If I'm going to do something, I do it 100%. And I'm about how do we make the team better?
Yeah.
I'm not about how do we make one person better? How do I make I better? Because I promise you can't do that by yourself. You can't. So as much as that was happening, I started to go, I actually want to do more. I actually want to do more. I actually want to do more. And I had to pick up the confidence, and I also had to fight. I had to fight and say, I want to do more on the show. I want to do more on the show. I'm learning so much. I'm sitting here. I'm putting in the hours. I want to do more. And sometimes you forget how many hours you've put in, I think. And your fear is actually the one that's holding you back. And I had to jump out of that fear. I had to do it. And I had to remember that no matter what mistakes you make going in, it gets better. The sun will rise again tomorrow, and you get back and you do it again, and you get back and you do it again. But your biggest mistake, you'll never do that mistake again.
But how did you go about doing that? I remember even when we had Forbes on the platform. Sorry. Yeah. And when I asked him a specific question, which I'll ask you also when we end the show, he's like, I wish I realized Fiks's potential way sooner. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because if you've been in the co-host seat for so long, there's certain things you don't show. And even when you're fighting to get that time behind the mic, because he said, like, he's that guy, we're getting into this link like that, we're getting that link like that. And if it doesn't happen like that, then it kills the whole momentum of how he felt the link should go like. But how did you keep persistently every day trying to make sure that eventually they're going to know my worth?
I think it eventually comes out, and you have to have perseverance. Is the one thing. You can't stop knocking on that door, is another thing. And also, you need to understand that your value is actually so important. It's something that I also realized with myself, that, hey, what I bring to this is important. The value that I add, and if they can't see it, then that's on them. But I need to show what value I can add to this, and you need to have confidence within that value. So it was difficult. I mean, it was. I think any duo is really difficult, and. Also, I think with the background that Forbes comes from, when we've spoken about it, he comes, as I said, from that Tux radio. This is how you do it. This is how you get in the link. It's almost like a textbook kind of radio that they learn, and then they're like, okay, now you can bring out the personality. I came from the opposite end. I went from personality into textbook kind of thing, and I didn't want to get stuck in textbook. I was just like, the only way I can do great radio is if I have this chatterach personality of mine that comes out, and then yes, I will try and see where the guidelines are, but if that's more me, then that's more me, and I would rather be that, and I would rather see how it works, and if it works, awesome. If it doesn't work, next,
it's whatever.
And I think that's also what I'd love. I would say to every radio personality is that try it. Don't hold back. Try it, because it may not be for that station, but it may be for the other station.
For the next station.
And that's why you can't hold back on who you are and what you are. Yes, personalities do fit certain stations. I agree. But also, like an interesting realization with Fresh, you can jump from Metro and then also still jump to 947 and still appeal to both markets. And it is what it is. So there are stations that work for you, but whatever your core is, whatever your value is, whatever your uniqueness is, you have to let it out. And don't be scared to let it out. Because if one person doesn't see it, trust me, someone else will see it and they'll grab onto it. Don't hide it, and don't ignore it.
After being a co-host for so long and still being able to fully understand your role on the show, what would you say makes a perfect team player, perfect co-host on the show?
I've been a team player my whole life.
Yeah.
From when I was playing water polo, I learned the significance of being in a team. My coach, my water polo coach, is my mentor till today. Shout out Mr. Pip. But he taught me this is what teamwork is. I learned it in boarding school as well. You stick with your girls. You make sure that everyone in the group is solid, everyone is together, and you stand for each other. That's it. So that's the school of learning I'm from, and that's a team that I always hope to be in. And if I see that a team is too I, then I'm just like, this is not going to work out. This is you just it's a feel for it.
Feel it.
You can feel it. Forbes and I have survived for 7 years. Because I think I'm a good team player. I love you, Forbes. I love you, Forbes.
Yeah.
But I am a really good team player. I have patience and I have perseverance at the same time. But he's also a really, really patient and good guy as well. And he does like things a certain way, but also you got to go, but not today. It's just one of those things. Let it go. Let it go. And I'll give you a great example. We did one link where we were excited about something. We were singing along to something. I think it was the new Katy Perry. Informer. No.
Oh, yeah, I see that.
The Concalma song. And me and Kim went buck wild with that song because we're just like, bah! And then Forbes is like, no one likes singing on the radio. Why are you guys always singing on the radio? You can see him just getting absolutely frustrated.
Like, relax.
Yeah. And I'm just like, here comes that Tux radio thing of his. So, like you see it, but you also, I've learned with all of that, and I actually learned this from Roger Good as well. You just make it entertainment.
Yeah.
That's his personality. That's who he is. He says it on air, and I'm just like, ha ha ha. This is it. It's real.
And that's what radio's about.
And this is what radio is about.
Yeah.
It's not perfect. It's not about a perfect link. There's no such thing as a perfect link. And if there is people doing perfect links, boring. It's boring. We don't talk perfectly in life. We don't. We make mistakes. We say we do all these things. And yes, of course, we need to be able to make sure that we able to communicate still, tell a story. But everyone is unique in the way that they do it. So there is no textbook behind it. So I think Forbes learns that more from me to let go. But then I also learn from him to get in and out there and out.
Yeah.
And that's how the team works, as in a nutshell.
Look at you, like you had to think about it. Where was I going with this one?
Yeah.
And there we go. I love that. You've been mentioning value a lot, and it just got me thinking because it's something that's been going around for a while where women are saying they're underpaid. Would you say 5 takes care of Fiks properly? That anyone else out there that doesn't top it, or like, would you be willing to take a pay cut? Like Fresh, when he talks about his story when he left Y and went to 5, he took a pay cut. Would you do that? Leave 5 for another station and take a pay cut?
I probably would. It's a hard. Without a child, I would have said yes any day. It's not a problem if it feels right. And I've always said that if it feels right,
go for it.
Looks right, go for it. But with a child, it's harder to make that decision. It really is. It's harder to make that decision. But I probably would. I probably would, because if I'm happy, the money will come. doesn't have to come from there, but the money will come. And I think that's the important aspect of it all. The money always comes if you're happy. If you're working, obviously happy chilling smoking a blunt, it's not gonna make you know what I mean. But like if you're happy with what you do, then it'll come.
How do you want to be remembered as a 5FM DJ? When you say I'm out, how do you want people to say, "Hey, that girl Fiks, man"?
I think I just wanted to be remembered as a person that made you smile.
Yeah.
I think it's kind of one of my traits, the gifts that I was given is to make people smile. Yeah. To make people feel good. Yeah. This is why I probably won't ever go into talk radio.
And apparently that's where we all die.
Apparently that's where we all die.
I'm like, wait, I'm not dying anytime soon. Relax yourself.
I was like, I'm probably gonna skip that journey. But yeah, I just want to make people smile, make people feel good, because no one ever really remembers what you taught them, what you said to them. They always remember how you made them feel. True. And for me, making you feel good, making you smile after a very crap day, I've done my job.
Your top 5 people that inspired you with this radio thing?
Ooh. Hot damn.
Males are allowed. That's fine. Before you just mention women. Yeah.
Top 5 people. I'm actually going to say my co-host.
Okay.
I've learned a lot from Rob. I really have. We've stuck by each other for 7 years. So I'll definitely say Rob is one of those people. Mm-hmm. Who else?
Forbes, you made the cut.
Well done, Forbesy.
Yeah. It doesn't have to be 5. It could be. It's up to you. Like people that come top of mind.
Top of mind. I wish I could say more women. I really do. I'll say Nicole Fox, and I say Nicole Fox because when I was a lighty, it was a female voice where I was just like, if you can do it, I can do it. Yeah. So I would say definitely Nicole Fox shaped that for me as well. Roger Good. Roger.
Dirty Uncle Roger.
Dirty, dodgy Uncle Roger is just fun. He takes all the rules of radio, jumbles it up, and creates his own wonderland. Yeah. And it makes sense.
Amazing. Yeah.
It makes sense. Yeah. And I respect that. I always say to Roger, you're Hollywood, man. Like, this is too small for you. You're Hollywood. Yeah. Do Hollywood. So yeah, I would say Roger. I've learned so much from him as well, and I enjoy his radio. I always will enjoy his radio. I'm trying to think of more people. From an intern. From a. Should I say, we always say the gods upstairs because that's where our management is. We call them the gods upstairs.
Floor 8.
Yeah, floor 8. The gods upstairs. I'm trying to think of those kind of people. And I'll probably put Grant Nash in there. Yeah. I've learned a lot from him too. And then also just to every female radio DJ that has made a drive time show. Yeah. Like, thank you. Props to you. You have paved the way for many. So it's something to be very proud of, and we look up to people like that. Yeah. A lot of women need to do that. So yeah, I'd say those are in a nutshell. I hated how I only had I had more males.
No, but you just say males.
But I had to do it like that. And I was just like, wow. Damn.
It's just this conversation has just made me realize how Nicole Fox was just ahead of her time.
Right?
She was, like, shout out. I think she's based in England right now, if I'm not mistaken.
I know the last I heard she was in Nigeria.
Oh, she's in Nigeria.
The last I heard she married, beautiful kids as well. But she was way ahead. Yeah. She was way ahead, and it's not easy being the only female during that time that kind of was like, I'm doing this. I'm going for it. So big props to her. big props to her, because I'm just trying to think of other radio stations, what females were on those, who was there, and there were not many.
After
There were
5?
not many.
After 5, where would you like to go? Ideally. Is it 947? Is it a challenge for yourself? Is it...
no,
Because Grant is there.
Take me to the coast.
You want to go to Durban,
No,
Cape Town?
I want to take me to the coast.
Yeah.
Oh, you know, Rob and I speak about this. We're just like, let's go live in Franschhoek and work for Franschhoek FM, where we can talk about which vineyard is popping.
You know, live your best life.
We can just be like, what are we having today?
They won't match your pay though.
They won't
match your pay though.
No, standard. They can pay us in wine.
Give us some land.
Give us the land.
Give us It's a great start. So where would you? Anywhere in the coast? So like your East Coast, Good Hope FM.
Look, I'm a Eastern Cape girl.
Okay, cool.
I miss that that coastal lifestyle.
So True FM, but True FM is a beach, isn't it?
Yeah, it's a beach. No, it's not gonna happen. No,
work.
Eastern Cape. I've already learned. It's not gonna happen.
It's not gonna happen.
It's not gonna happen. I don't know. I'm gonna be honest with you, and as I said to you, I don't think I'm gonna go into talk radio.
Not anytime soon.
Not anytime soon. I don't know if ever. I would rather do a podcast, to be honest with you, and focus on the really amazing schools and things I want to do in my life. So
that means you're happy at 5.
So no, I'm
truly happy.
I also realized with 5 that I reached what I wanted to reach.
Yeah.
And not even that I was reaching for it, but I got to be at the dream station that I wanted to, you know, that's what I listened to. That's where I knew the fit would happen, and the fit happened. So I'm like, I'm happy to explore more. As long as I can put a smile on someone's face. It feels right, it feels right. So we'll see where it goes.
How
but
it goes.
Holla Franschhoek FM.
Do the things. Make sure that the bag comes and lands. Before I let you go, Fiks, I like asking DJs this question.
Yeah.
Who would you like to say thank you to for helping me whenever with this radio journey? Or you just want to say thank you to?
I mean, it's so obvious, but like, I had to think to myself and go, is that the core of it?
Yeah.
That's the core of it. My mama.
Your mama.
My mama.
Yeah.
My mama's a single mama. And when I entered the entertainment industry, just generally, she was just like, Danam, fly. Go do it. I come from a huge academic background, a family background. Education is everything to us. So for me to be studying film and media, and then all of a sudden I go, Mom, I want an MTV competition. Right. And they were like, but we're busting our asses off here for you to be at UCT studying film and media, and you're telling us about competitions on TV. Then what's going on? But as I did it, they were just like, it's Fiks. She's always had her head on her shoulders. And that's why I said I had to be a child again. I had to go back and just be a kid. Because it was one of those things where like, oh, we're not worried about her. She's got her head on her shoulders. She's got this. Don't worry. And I proved that I could do it. And I created more opportunity, and more, and created a career. And she had trust every single time and every single choice. When I said I wanted to do this, she was like, cool, let's do it. I want to go study in the States. Cool, let's go do it. I'm going to start at 5FM again. Cool, go and do it.
Go for it, yeah.
So she's always, and I say yes in the spectrum of radio world, but in life, she's just said, go and do it. I support you 100%. If you fail, I'm here, but the sun comes up again tomorrow and we try again. And that's kind of like, we've learned, she always says, what's the lesson that you learned? What's the lesson that you learned? So I'm so thankful for her. She's a young mama. She had me when she was 18. Yeah. So she's only turning 51, 52 now.
Yeah.
And I'm thankful for her every single day. So shout out to my moms. You really are the best. And awesome. you've made this journey so much easier for me.
On the other side of the coin, who would you like to say I'm sorry to?
Sabby, you got good questions, bro.
Who would you like to say I'm now this is just we're wrapping it up now.
You got good questions.
Who would you like to say I'm sorry to?
I think I'd like to say sorry to myself for being so hard on me.
For real?
I am hard on myself.
But that's a good thing,
I think
though.
I'm my biggest critic.
Yeah.
It can be a good thing, but you always put so much pressure on yourself to be better and do better. And I definitely put too much pressure as from a mom perspective. As a career mom, I put so much pressure on myself because I love being a mom, but I have to be working and I have to be doing this, and like it's hectic. And I'm a single mom, bruh. Like I'm like hustling in my life, so it's not easy. And you kind of just have to say, forgive yourself. It's okay.
Wait, when you say you're a single mom, aren't you married, Fiks?
No, I'm
Just
not
the other day.
married. I know.
It feels like it was yesterday on the radio.
I thought I'd drop the bomb right at the end.
But it's not that kind of show.
That's time up.
See, now she wants me. You see, I'm gonna end up becoming a gossip channel. How are you? Just yesterday, you.
Yeah, life is full of surprises.
I'm super surprised. It's like that radio link when you're like,
and then we could have, but how? But we'll, but anyway, but it's okay.
okay.
It's okay.
Thank you for coming. No, literally, guys. Like, look, I don't want. There's so many times people have been here, right? I remember even when Thomas was here, and then he drops a bomb at the end. I'm like, I'm not gonna talk about it, Nancy. It's not that kind of show. But a part of me is like, why not? I'm like, no. I don't want another hour.
I love it. You're just like, I've got questions, but I can't. I've got questions, but I can't.
But it's fine. I respect it. It's another podcast. Make G, you can have that one. Wow. Look, I think from the outside looking in, you've done so well for yourself. Being hard on yourself, I think, is just you not giving yourself a bottle of champagne and pop it. You've done so well, man. You know, having a kid in a career where women feel like you can't have a career and a kid.
Yeah, and you're judged a lot for it.
You know. And here you are.
Yeah, fuck it, just do it.
Yeah.
You can do it. You really can do it. And I promise you and your kid and your life is going to be absolutely fine. So
just don't overthink it.
This is the problem with us humans. We overthink everything.
Don't overthink it,
You
Fiks.
just
In the words of Burna Boy, stop over planning things. Let things be. Everything that was meant to be will happen.
Yeah, it falls into place. Everything falls into place at the end of the day. And I promise you, you're good.
That's true. Guys, thank you very much. Catch you on the radio, the 5 show between 12 and 3 is 5 because it's Forbes and Fiks. In case if you had no idea, that's what I called him. So yeah, 12 to 3 on 5FM. It's 98.0, right? That's
98.0. Well done.
I literally know all these frequencies. It's insane.
You should be like the captain of radio.
No, what a job.
You should be the captain of all radio stations. But while we're at it, can you just also help us fight for a lower tax rate, ne?
Yeah, no.
Okay.
No, you guys are texting us like shit. We gotta pay these agencies.
Yes,
we gotta freaking pay a lot of people with these salaries that we're getting from these stations. But we truly appreciate it. Look, it's all about radio. Now we can eat our pizzas cold.
Yeah.
Subscribe, tell a friend, and let's do it again next week Tuesday, 8 p.m. If you don't catch it live, right here on YouTube. We got a new home now, DJSabby.com. Thank you very much. We out.